Mick, thanks a million for speaking to us. Football punditry, why now?
Why not? I'm out of work, I've got to do it. I enjoy it. I've been doing it a long time, you know. I did it the first time in 2000. I did it for the World Club Championship when I'm sure it's 2000, when Manchester United were out the FA Cup and went to Brazil. And I worked for the BBC then with John Champion, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I've done it pretty much ever since. I've been to a few World Cups, European Championships. So it's something I've dabbled at and done it, but it's always been when I've been out of work.
Yeah.
Which I am now.
Yeah. But the eye is to go back into management, is it?
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, I'm loving it. I've enjoyed my time off, and I'm still enjoying it. And I love doing this, by the way, the punditry and co-coms. I get to games, keeps me iron. I've thoroughly enjoyed that. But I am starting to get a bit twitchy, itchy feet. I'm ready to go back in, but it's sad, that, isn't it? I can only go back in if somebody else loses his job.
Yeah.
So, you know, utopia would be that somebody gets poached to go to a bigger club. But if that happens, the guy at the bigger club's generally lost his job. And then I take over where somebody's gone on to do something better. But you know it'll be somebody will get the sack, and as is always the case.
Yeah, you left Ipswich in interesting circumstances, and they're struggling without you. I mean, I think they're second from bottom of the championship. Is there a tiny party that's saying, "I told you so"?
No, not really, because the section of the fans that were abusive towards me were a small section. I had 5.5 wonderful years at Ipswich, I really did, but it did end up more acrimonious than I would have liked. You know, I'd agreed to go 8 games before. With 4 games to go, I had to leave out the back door at Brentford because there were some Ipswich fans wanted to throw beer and bottles at me, so the police told me. Yeah, I didn't want to do that, but I did to protect everybody else. And so I'd agreed I was going to leave after the Barnsley game anyway. And it would have been nice to sit down and say, listen, I've agreed to go, good luck, nice things. But instead, the cacophony of boos I got for taking Barry Cotter off, who'd been excellent but was absolutely shattered. It just annoyed me beyond all belief, that. So when I was asked about that, I said, well, don't bother me anymore. I won't have to listen to it, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Did you retire in the press conference, or had you said something beforehand?
Oh no, I'd agreed to go after that already with Marcus, and that was fine. But I'd had enough then. I thought I wasn't taking it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no need. We finished 12th for the budget of, I think we were 19. Somebody said we were 19, but I don't know. Yeah. And I'd had 5.5 really good years there, so it was sad it ended that way. But I think you'll find the majority of Ipswich fans would be pleased and happy with what I did.
Yeah, and would you still keep an eye on the results now, or is it kind of case of job done, move on?
No, of course I do. I can't do any other kind of Wolves, Barnsley, Man City, whatever. I'll be looking at Ireland's result tomorrow night. If anybody wherever I've been, it's Sunderland. They've started well.
Yeah. On Ireland, so it's been another interesting week. Let's put it that way in terms of news headlines from the Irish squad. The Harry Arter situation, among his reasons for wanting out was a dispute with Roy Keane on the training ground. What's your impression of the whole situation?
Well, people could give me assumptions of what's happening, what's going on, so I don't really know the full tale of it. But I've just said to everybody else, it's Harry Arter's a Premier League footballer, and I guess we don't have that many, so you'd want him in the squad. And I said to everybody else, my job throughout management is to galvanise the squad, get them playing, keep them right, keep them together, and put the best team out on the pitch I possibly can. But of course that always seems bonkers when what happened with Roy and myself. But at the end of that, I did offer the olive branch at the end of it all, and it was turned down. And so I think you have to try and get the best players to play for you, which I did. And whatever squad you've got, you put the best squad together and do the best you can. Yeah. It's up to them. It's not my job. I dealt with it as I saw fit, and Martin's the manager. And Martin is the manager. He's the one that's got to handle it, like I had to handle it.
Yeah. If you're in a similar situation with Ireland, and maybe different personalities involved, who knows? But if there was a dispute between a player that, you know, Premier League player and your assistant manager, what would you do in that situation? Who do you back?
I always say until I'm in that situation, I can't tell you.
Yeah.
And it'd be wrong of me, because anything I say that, you know, it's like tit for tat with me and Roy, and I'm not having that. I'm talking generically how I deal with situations, and we're all different, you know. Thank goodness. If we're all the same, it'd be boring, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. We're at the stage now where Martin O'Neill has had to say that he still backs Roy Keane to the hill. So we're now, you know, the story is now that there's a lot of scrutiny on his position. What do you think that Roy brings as an assistant manager to the Irish squad?
Never worked with him.
Yeah. Do you think he's the right character for that kind of role?
As I said, I've never worked with him. He had a manager's job at Sunderland. He's been a manager in his own right. And let's go back to me. If somebody had have asked me about Ian Evans, so I would only talk about myself, or Terry Connor. I've had 2 assistants in all my time, and I would trust the both of them with my life. I give them the keys to my house.
Yeah.
And so my assistants that I've had, if ever there was anything that went off with them, I would have backed them to the hilt, because they would back me to the hilt, and I trust them.
Yeah, that seems to be.
So, talking about individual people, it'd be wrong for me to get involved in that.
Yeah.
Yes, Ian Evans and Terry Connor would get my absolute 100% full backing.
Yeah.
Because they're brilliant, the 2 of them.
Declan Rice, there's reports now that Rice might end up declaring for Ireland yet. It was in the Star this morning.
I hope he does, he's a good player.
Yeah, is it difficult for him to come back, do you think? Or does the fallout around everything make it difficult for him?
I'll tell you what happens, if he comes back, there'll be a lot of people who think, well, he's thought he's been courted by somebody else, and that isn't right, and he shouldn't now play for Ireland. If he comes back and is brilliant to qualify for the next European Championships and World Cups, it'll all be forgotten. Yeah. Strangely enough. Maybe not by some, but by most. And he's a young boy, he's 19. And you're asking somebody who's coming up 60 next year. And the only thing that age has given me is a bit more perspective on life and 3 beautiful grandchildren that I think, other than that, aches and pains and feeling old is not very good. He's 19. And England had this year what we had, Ireland, in 88. How old were you in 88, by the way?
I
were
wasn't
you here?
Alive, no.
You weren't here.
The first Irish team
it was
I
great.
remember
Let me tell you,
it
was brilliant. Well, was it?
Yeah.
So 90. You're looking older than you think. Unlucky.
I'll take that as compliment.
I know. 90 and 94. All the wonderful times we had. That's what England had this summer.
Yeah.
I was there and I was doing some co-coms and that. It was brilliant, and the feeling that the fans, and that hasn't happened since '96. I think it was '96 when they were galvanised like that. So England have had that, and if Gareth Southgate's in Declan's ear saying, "Hey, listen, pal, we've got this young team. You could come and play with John Stones and Harry Maguire, and I'll get Walker on the right wing back. You can play in there, and we're going to qualify for the next competitions." He's 19.
Yeah.
Give the lad a bit of chance. My advice to him would be, don't play for any of them for now. Get in the first team, play for West Ham, get in the first team, have a brilliant season, and I tell you what, then he'll be better able, because he might realise he's going to play in either of the teams and he can make his choice. I hope it's for us.
Yeah. But can I just have one final question on a kind of a different topic?
Happy days. Go on,
Now that you're a football pundit, you're not tempted to broaden your platform and join social media or anything like that? Mick McCarthy on Twitter
Listen,
could be quite good.
I can announce it live now with you. It might not be live, it's been recorded, that everybody can now tweet me.
Are you on?
No, I won't get any of them, but they can all tweet me.
You don't believe in it. There were some good comments that you had a while ago that you'd have 60 million followers and you'd be...
Well, that'd be the case, wouldn't it? I think I'd have millions of followers or I'd get locked up one or the other, so I can't risk the latter.
Come here, it'll be great to see you on TV. Thanks so much for chatting.
Pleasure, thank you. Good to talk to you.
Mick, thanks a million.
Pleasure, Tim.